Alright guys, this is the video, interior and bisector. So like we said before, the word between and midpoint goes with segment. And these keywords, interior and bisector, always go with angles. Alright, so let me show you how to draw an interior. If it says a point, and if we read number 8, angle ABC, the measure of ABC is 130, and D is in the interior of angle ABC. So if this was my angle ABC, how do you draw someone in the interior? It's just you just draw another segment and you're going to put a D in there. Okay? And there is my picture. ABC, I drew a segment or array out of it and put a D. So if you want to draw this, you can pause me. Okay, so it says the measure of ABD is 3x plus 4. So I look at here and I find ABD, and I'm going to put a 3x plus 4 in it. Okay. Now CBD is 4x minus 14. CBD. Now before I go any further, I did miss this. I forgot to label this. The whole ABC is 130. And that's the whole. See, I'm going to put one of these guys here. I like the all-inclusive symbol. And once again, it's little plus little equals big. We're always using this equation. Alright, so I'm going to say my 3x plus 4 right here plus my 4x minus 14. I forgot the 1 in front of that 4. So let me go ahead and put that in there. Don't forget to do that. Okay, so now I'm going to add like terms. So I got the x's combined to make 4 or 7x, and the 4 and negative 14 combined to make the negative 10. And then hopefully everybody feels confident what to do next is you add 10 and then divide by 2, or I'm sorry, divide by 7, and you'll get your answer. Okay, so another one here. If you want to take a pause and draw this, sure can. Alright, so P lies in the interior of RST. Okay, so what I did is I drew this RST, I drew the angle. How do I know where the angle is? Because there's the symbol. S is going to be in the middle, so I do RST. Okay, now P lies in the interior, so I just drew this little line out here and gave it a P. So that's how you draw it. Alright, so here I am, RSP is 40. So I got this 40 already made. I find my RSP. I'm sliding that in there. Then it says TSP is 10. Okay, TSP is this bottom angle, TSP. Okay, now it wants RST. So I hope you recognize the RST is the whole. So you add it, and it's a simple 50. So this becomes easier as you know how to read these things. If you're having trouble drawing and reading this simple problem, 40 plus 10 becomes more challenging. So now I didn't write this in here on your paper, so if you can pause me for a second and write these things in. Okay, so hopefully you paused and wrote those things in. Okay, now D is in the interior of ABC. Now, they didn't give us a big, they didn't come out and tell us what the whole big thing was, but this should tell you. Now, we've already done things like this before. So if this was ABD and 8x minus 3 went in here, you would add them to 90. So 3x plus 5, 8x minus 3 equals 90, and you would solve. Alright, so we're going to look at angle bisectors. Bisectors I like to try to relate this to the word dissect. Bisect, dissect. They sound very similar. So if you ever dissect an animal, the most usual routine is to cut it right down the middle. Bisectors cut something down the middle, like a midpoint does, but a bisector cuts an angle down the middle. So we say Ray PD is an angle bisector of BPE. So we would draw our angle. There's our angle sign. That's the angle to draw. So the question gave you this, BPE, but it says PD is a bisector. So I'm drawing this piece out here and putting a point and labeling a D. So that's how you would draw that. All right, so it says the measure of 4 is x plus 30. So I got that x plus 30. Okay. BPD is 3x minus 10. Now, we always have little plus little equals big, but you got to remember, if something's cut in half, the halves are equal. So if you cut my grass today, if I gave you half now, half later, and I gave you $20 at the beginning, if I give you half later, common sense says you should be expecting $20 more. So if it's a bisector, the littles are equal. Now, I'm going to tell you, if it does not come out and give you the measurement or expression that represents the big, you cannot use it. So we're not allowed to use little plus little equals big because all it gives us is the littles. So I would take each little and I would simply put an equal sign between them. And all it wants you to do is find x, so I solve that and I'm good. All right, moving down here. Okay, this is very similar. They do not come out and tell us, first of all, ABC is the big. There's your angle measurement. BD will cut it down the middle. They do not come out and tell us what ABC is. Therefore, you cannot use the big. You must use little equals little. If there's no big, this is not an option. So what you'll do is you'll set these equal to each other because they are equal halves, and you will get x. Now, make sure you read the directions. It wants ABC. It wants all of this. So what you will do is take your x, plug it in, and you'll add these two angles together. And when you plug them in, they better be the same because it's a bisector, so they got to be equal. So if you get 47 here, this better be 47. All right, so tough stuff. Okay, if you want to draw this little picture out here, you can. I went ahead and did it. All right, so now there's no picture. So I'm going to draw this picture. BD bisects ABC. There's my angle sign. So those are my letters for the angle. And it says BD cuts it in half. So I'm going to go ahead and throw a BD. I already got a B, so I have to put the D out here. Okay. ABD. All right, so now we get started labeling. ABD is 2x. ABC is 64. All right, this is not ABC. This is DBC. ABC is the whole. So I'm going to use that all-inclusive symbol and put a 64 there. Did they give us the big? I hope you realize they did. If they give us the big, you must use this formula. Okay? So now, if I use this formula, I have the big is 64. Here's my little. Now, you cannot say 2x equals 64. There must be two littles. Now let's go back to my example about cutting grass. If you cut my grass and I say I'll give you $20 now, what are you going to be expecting after? If I give you the same amount, I'll give you half now, half later. It'll be 20 and 20. Halves mean they're equal. If you open up a can or a bag of Skittles and you split them up individually, the goal is to get each person equal amount. So if one is 2x, they actually have given you both. So now it becomes 4x. I add them together and equals 64. If they give you 1/2, they've actually have told you what the other half should be. 20 now, 20 later. 2x, now the other half's got to be 2x. Alright, so once again I pre-made this picture. Pause me at any time, guys. So P, Q, R, and I went pretty quick on that. I just saw this PQR. I need a bisecting ray. I got a Q, so it looks like the other is an S. So there's my QS ray that cuts it in half. Now, I'm going to tell you something what's very helpful for me, and I hope this might be a good practice for you guys. If I know these are equal, I'm going to kind of help myself any way possible. That symbol, if they have the same symbol, they're equal. So it kind of helps me. It's good practice. PQS is 3x. PQS, got my 3x. And RQS, which is this guy right here, is 2x plus 6. Now, they want to know what PQR is. Remember, if they want to measure it, you got to find x first and plug it in. Now, they did not give us a big. They didn't say PQR was 30. They didn't say PQR was 12x plus 2. They give us two littles. Therefore, you cannot use little plus little equals big. You must use little equals little. So you will set these equal to each other. And I did it real quick, and I know x is 6. Now those that don't read directions, you're going to get it wrong. Because look what they did. They made an answer 6 thinking you might not read what they want you to find. So you got to be careful. So I'm plugging this in, x into the 3x that was up here, that's 18. And this down here better be 18. So 2 times 6 is 12, plus the 6 is 18. So I do have 2 halves of 18. And now it wants P, Q, R, the whole, and you add the 18s, and you get 36.